yesterday's news.
Hello and a happy Christmas from Old News, the programme and podcast which looks at news of the day through the papers of yesterday. The second of our look at Christmas and New Year festivities as featured in the papers. What had gone on, what people ate perhaps, adverts, all the like. Christmas has always been big in the media one way or another over, well, hundreds of years. If we look back, for example, to the Isle of Man Times, Saturday, December the 21st, 1878. Then as now, plenty of papers advertising the things you can get for Christmas. Christmas and New Year's presents, we're told. Frederick Faulkner Bazaar of 50 Duke Street invites inspection of his selection of Christmas and New Year's gifts in ladies' cambric handkerchiefs in fancy boxes, motto handkerchiefs, lace and linen sets, special lot of fancy silk ties, dress caps, whatever they are, servants' caps, well, we know where we're standing there, silk-embroidered squares, wool-wrap squares and shoulder shawls, fur-lined gloves, etc., white, black, cardinal, blue, maroon and green tarletans, and every requisite for evening dress. The Bazaar of 50 Duke Street, 21st of December, 1878. Evening dress perhaps not quite so important now as it was. Letters like this you still see, but have changed perhaps. Now we do maybe food parcels out to refugee camps and such like, and occasionally, of course, out to people who are fighting. This is from the Isle of Man Times, Saturday, December the 9th, 1899. Christmas and New Year's cheer for the Naval Brigade at the front. To the editor, Sir, the gallantry of our sailors, as well as of our soldiers, is in the mind of the whole country. Jack, with his naval guns, came to the rescue at Ladysmith and turned the tide. The Battle of Graspan, or Brusilin, which has been fought on the road to Kimberley, has been called the Sailors' Battle. So heavily did the Blue Jackets and Marines of the Naval Brigade, both officers and men, suffer, but as might be expected from Jack's dauntless gallantry, the battle was victory. I am honoured by the Navy with the title of Mother, and I am anxious to cheer the hearts of the brave boys at Christmas and New Year. There are between 600 and 1,000 men at the front, and I want to send each a Christmas pudding, a ration of tobacco and a pipe, and possibly socks to replace those worn out in climbing. I've consulted the Blue Jackets at the home ports as to these gifts, and they suggested and voted vigorously for puddings, baccy and socks. I shall be sending out immediately, and I shall be very glad to receive help from all friends of the Navy who may be disposed to aid me. All gifts marked Christmas and New Year's cheer for Jack at the front will be duly acknowledged. Cheques to be drawn to Agnes E. Weston or paid into Royal Sailors' Rest account, National Provincial Bank, Landport in Portsmouth. All cheques and postal orders to have "and Co." written across them. Will my kind helpers address to me Miss Weston, Royal Sailors' Rest, Portsmouth, and send at once as Christmas and New Year are at hand. Jack's rations when fighting are often short, and his privations great, and it cheers his heart to know that his friends in England never forget him. Yours very truly, Agnes E. Weston. A kind lady helping those souls on the front. Still goes on, doesn't it? I don't know whether they get baccy and socks in the same way. Package trips and trips away for Christmas. Well, people do it quite a lot, don't they? I've got several friends away for Christmas. But you go back to 1929, it was going on then as well. The Isle of Man Examiner, Friday, November the 29th of that year. Christmas and New Year in Belgium. The Belgian National Railways and Dover Ostend Royal Mail Service have now issued details of their arrangements for visiting Belgium during Christmas and the New Year, we are told. A holiday may be enjoyed in this delightful country during these periods at very little expense. Special excursion tickets will be issued daily from December the 21st to the 24th and December the 28th to the 31st. These tickets will be available for return up to and including the 15th day of issue, both from London and Dover, at fares ranging from 30 shillings and 11 pence to £3 1 shilling and 7 pence according to class. A small additional charge takes one to Bruges, Ghent, Brussels, Antwerp, Dinan and other places well worthy of a visit. Dinan most certainly is. Lovely place. Full details of these excursions may be obtained free of charge from the Belgian National Railways 47 in Cannon Street, London, EC4. Christmas in Belgium. Why not? During the war, of course, well, tough times indeed. The Ramsey Courier, Friday, November the 19th, 1943. Special airgraph form for Christmas and New Year greetings. The Postmaster General announces that a special form for sending Christmas and New Year greetings by airgraph to members of the forces and civilians in countries to which the airgraph service extends is now available at post offices. No special charge will be made for the form, but in order to avoid wastage, it will be issued only against the purchase of postage stamps to the value of the appropriate aircraft fee, viz. threepence if the aircraft is being sent to a member of the forces or of the merchant navy, and eightpence, 8 old D that is, if it is being sent to a civilian address. Members of the public are asked when applying for forms to say whether the form will be sent to a member of the forces or merchant navy or a civilian. The greetings airgraphs will be retained abroad for delivery at Christmas, or in the case of the forces, as near to Christmas as active service conditions permit, and there will be no advantage to the senders or addressees in deferring posting until the latest date for Christmas delivery, which will be announced later. The public are therefore requested to obtain and post their greetings airgraphs without delay. And I'm sure it would have put a smile on the face of anyone at the front on active service during Christmas, as indeed there will be people this very year. Here's an interesting piece from the Isle of Man Examiner, Saturday, January the 5th, 1901, looking back at the excesses of Christmas. The Christmas and New Year festivities are about over, we are told, and very many of the lieges are profoundly thankful therefor. Doubtless, those individuals who are blessed with digestive apparatus modelled on that of the ostrich, and with an insatiable appetite for pleasure, will regret that the rejoicings are coming to an end. But these are the younger portion of the community, and as they grow in years and dyspepsia, they will rejoice at the termination of the rejoicings. Christmas comestibles and beverages, though tasteful enough, are not conducive to sound health, and it makes one shudder to contemplate the possibility of a prolongation of the regimen of plum pudding, mince pies, and the attendant drinkables. The medical profession should have a kindly feeling towards Christmas, for surely many a thumping doctor's bill must accrue as a result of keeping up Yuletide in the good old style. Christmas, too, must mean a good thing financially for publicans. It is a custom, a very bad custom, for some people to celebrate the anniversary of the season of glad tidings by indulging in malt and spirituous and vinous liquors to the profit of Boniface, and not infrequently to the misfortune of the celebrants. It is pleasing to find that this hoary but senseless custom is dying in the Isle of Man. Still seems to be going now, a mere 120 years later. In one sense, this last Christmas in the island has been a remarkably dry one. Less than 2 decades ago, the amount of drunkenness among young men to be witnessed in the streets of Douglas during the early hours of Christmas Day and New Year's Day was appalling. Of late years, there's been a big improvement, and on the last Christmas Day of the 19th century and the first New Year's Day of the 20th century, there was a most welcome absence of inebriety in the streets of the principal town and in other public places in the island. Verily, the people, while as keen upon enjoyment as ever, are becoming more sensible in their pleasures. It's not recorded. Who wrote that? Might have been Salvation Army. Who knows? A temperance movement? Quite possibly. And finally, the Isle of Man Times, 1901, that last one, by the way. The Isle of Man Times, Saturday, December the 22nd, 1951. Would you have wanted to spend Christmas on the lighthouse? The island's loneliest man, Christmas and New Year on Chicken Rock, fog their only dread. The island's loneliest men this Christmas will be Mr. Charles Roberts and Mr. James Mainland, rather appropriately, who left here this morning to spend 6 weeks in the Chicken Rock Lighthouse, the slender 143-foot tower 5.5 miles south of this harbour. That's the harbour in Port St Mary, of course, and the most southerly point in the district of the Northern Lighthouse Board. Just after the relief took place, the wind got up, and a later attempt might have been unsuccessful. Lucky men who will be returning to spend their Christmas and New Year with their families in the lighthouse building here will be Mr. Neil Squires, a local man from the post office here, and Mr. Donald Galbraith, who will be coming home to his wife and 2 children. When the relief was made a week last Friday, it was 12 days overdue and came just in time to save Messrs Roberts and Donald McKinnon from starting on their iron rations. Although Mr Roberts will be going back to the Rock without compensation for the 12 days he is overdue, he's prepared to do so to restore the rotation. In the relief boat with him will be something for Christmas, a bird of some sort, and puddings, cakes and mince pies. Mr Quine, skipper of the 35-foot-long relief boat and its crew of 4, is a man who never gives in. Once a relief is due, he makes a trip every day until the job is accomplished. Often when the relief is made, it is not a full one, as no coal or oil can be unloaded. There is a landing stage on the rocks, but it is only bare on a calm day at 4 hours ebb tide, and as a result a rope has to be lowered from the lighthouse balcony to haul the provisions up and the relief in a breeches buoy. The relief boat returns at the first opportunity to unload water, coal and oil at the landing stage. Christmas Day or not, there will be no alteration in the strict schedule of duty on the lighthouse. Only difference will be the dinner in the decorated 12-foot diameter kitchen and gentle living room, made all the smaller by the wireless and transmitter set and other equipment. Adjustments will have to be carried out and fuel supplies checked. Floors have to be scrubbed and meals cooked, and the lenses have to be cleaned so that the tiny 8-inch incandescent mantle can be magnified 8,000 times to send its light flashing its warning 15 miles out to sea. It is all part of the methodical routine which breaks monotony, and providing there's no fog, the keepers expect to enjoy their Christmas. Gales do not alarm them, not even when waves rear against the lighthouse and cover it in foam, but when a fog bank creeps up and surrounds the lighthouse with its clammy folds, there is nerve strain and misery. Reason is that an alarm gun has to be fired by hand every 5 minutes, and the continuous explosions shake the nerves of the strongest men. And the article finishes, they'll miss his Christmas greeting. This year, the island's loneliest men will miss a Christmas greeting from Mr Robert Mitchell, the former warden of Calf Island, who used to keep in touch with them on his Morse tapper and send them local news from the ports. I don't know what a happy Christmas is in Morse. Something like... I've just made that up. But whatever. I wish you a very happy Christmas. No doubt Christmas will soon be old news like everything else on this programme. But we will be here in the new year. Until then, have a very happy Christmas, and I wish you a happy and healthy 2024. Cheerio. You're gonna be yesterday's news.